Accept life, don't suffer, just live every minute. Stoic friend, have you ever felt like life has lost its spark? It feels as though the days pass without purpose, a suffocating routine that neither inspires nor uplifts. You look around and ask yourself, is this all there is? The answer is no. That emptiness you feel is a call, a reminder that life's spark hasn't disappeared. It's simply hidden, waiting for you to rediscover it. Sometimes all we need is to pause, breathe and remember, we are finite. Every moment matters. Every small detail has the power to reignite that inner flame. Today is the day to feel, to live, to start anew. Are you ready? The spark of life often reveals itself when we focus on the present and confront what's right in front of us. Yes, rediscovering purpose requires more than reflection. It demands action. It's not about waiting for things to get better, but facing challenges with courage and turning them into opportunities for growth. Now, let's take a step forward. How can you find strength and clarity even in life's most challenging moments? Focus on the present and face adversity with courage. Life doesn't spare anyone from difficulties. But what if, instead of fearing them, you could see them as opportunities? Every challenge is a test, a chance to exercise essential virtues like courage and resilience. The Stoics teach us that the first tool to face any adversity is focusing on the present moment. When you stop worrying about the past, which you cannot change, and the future, which has yet to arrive, you discover extraordinary strength, the ability to act here and now. But what about things that seem beyond your control? The dichotomy of control offers a simple yet powerful answer. Divide the world into two parts: what is within your control and what is not. Focus only on what you can change. It's liberating to realize you don't have to carry the weight of everything. Just do your best with what's within your reach. And for those moments when fear or anxiety threatens to take over, the Stoics practice premeditatio malorum, mental preparation. Imagine the most challenging scenarios that could arise and envision yourself facing each one with steadfastness. Not as someone who dreads the worst, but as someone ready for anything. By preparing, you strengthen your mind and diminish the impact of the unexpected. Think about this. Every obstacle is an opportunity to grow. What seems unbearable today might become the story of how you emerge stronger tomorrow. So take a deep breath, focus on the present, and ask yourself, what can I do now to face this with courage? The strength to overcome lies within you. It always has. It's time to use it. Finding joy in life's small moments. After facing adversities with courage and focusing on what's within your control, it's time to turn to something often overlooked: the small moments that fill our days. These are not distractions or mere passing time. They are the heart of what truly matters. Have you noticed how the simplest moments can transform your day? The warmth of the sun on your face, the sound of the wind through the trees, or the smile of a loved one. These small experiences often go unnoticed, yet they hold the essence of happiness. The Stoics remind us that we don't need to wait for great achievements or extraordinary events to find meaning. Happiness is in the present, in appreciating what we already have. This is living with mindfulness. When you learn to pause and observe, whether it's the beauty of nature, the texture of the food you eat, or even the silence between words, you realize life was never empty. We just needed to slow down to notice. This is the Stoic simplicity, an approach that teaches us to seek joy in the essential rather than get lost in the superficial. And the most amazing part, valuing small moments gives us a new perspective on time. They are not insignificant, They are fragments of eternity that will never come again. With this mindset, even a simple act like holding a warm cup of coffee in the morning can remind you that you are alive. So, take a pause, right now. Take a deep breath, look around, and ask yourself, what is beautiful in this moment? It might be something small, but it's no less grand. Life happens in these moments. Cherish them, nurture them, because it is in them that you find what it truly means to live. After valuing the small moments comes the big question. Why is it so hard to notice them? In the frantic pace of modern life, where everything demands urgency and attention, we often lose ourselves. Yet there is power in doing the opposite, in stopping, in slowing down. Now let's explore how slowing down can be the key to regaining balance and living with greater purpose. The importance of slowing down. How many times have you felt the day slip by, leaving you exhausted yet unsure of what you've truly accomplished? We live in an age where being busy is seen as a badge of honor, but Stoicism reminds us, activity without purpose is not progress, it's waste. Slowing down doesn't mean stopping, it means reclaiming control over what deserves your energy and attention. When you choose to slow down, you create space for contemplation. That moment when you ask yourself, what am I doing and why? These simple reflections can change everything. Moreover, slowing down is an exercise in self-control. Instead of being swept away by the frenzy of the world, notifications, deadlines, endless demands, you choose how to respond. You learn to distinguish what truly matters from what is mere noise. The Stoics teach us that balance comes from reflecting on our actions and priorities. What in your life aligns with the values you wish to cultivate? What is pulling you away from the person you want to become? By slowing down, you gain the chance to align your steps with what is essential, leaving behind what no longer serves you. Imagine your mind as a lake. In chaos, its waters are turbulent, incapable of reflecting anything. But when you slow down, the waters calm and clarity emerges. It is in this stillness that you find answers, strength, and purpose. Slowing down is more than a pause. It's an act of courage. It's telling the world you choose to live at your own pace, prioritizing what holds meaning. So, stop for a moment right now. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, am I living at the right pace for me? Because the balance you seek begins with that choice. The connection between happiness and simplicity. After slowing down and finding balance, a powerful truth emerges. Happiness isn't found in rushing faster or achieving more, but in discovering the value of what's already around you. The simpler life becomes, the more space we create for what truly matters. Have you noticed how the happiest moments are often the simplest? A warm hug, an honest conversation, the peace of watching a sunset. These modest moments share something in common. They don't require excess to be meaningful. The Stoics understood this. For them, happiness didn't rely on wealth, status, or grand achievements. On the contrary, it thrived in the appreciation of what is essential: good relationships, a grateful heart, and the ability to fully live in the present. In the modern world, it's easy to be seduced by the idea that we need more to be happy. But often, what we truly need is less distraction, less unnecessary worry, and less dependence on external validation. When you embrace simplicity, you discover that true contentment comes from things money can't buy: shared laughter with friends, the closeness of a meaningful glance, the serenity of knowing you're living in alignment with your values. And the most incredible thing, when you simplify your life, you create space to feel, to connect, to appreciate. It's in this space that happiness takes root. Ask yourself, what in my life brings me true joy? It might be less than you think, and precisely because of that, it's more valuable than anything. In the end, happiness isn't about having more. It's about being more present, more grateful, and more connected to what truly matters. After finding happiness in simplicity and meaningful relationships, one key piece remains: your relationship with yourself. How can we care for others or live with purpose if we neglect who we are? Now let's explore the transformative power of self-love and self-care. Self-love and self-care. When was the last time you looked at yourself with kindness? In a world that prioritizes productivity above all, it's easy to forget that taking care of yourself isn't selfish, it's essential. Stoicism teaches us to accept our vulnerabilities not as weaknesses, but as integral parts of our humanity. To err, to fail, to feel fear, all of these are part of the journey. Practicing self-love begins with recognizing that you don't need to be perfect to be deserving of care and compassion. And self-care, it's more than rituals or fleeting rewards. It's about listening to yourself, respecting your limits, carving out time to recharge your mind and heart. It's learning to say no when necessary and prioritizing what nourishes your soul. Practice forgiveness, especially with yourself. Every mistake holds a lesson. Every fall offers the chance to rise stronger. Forgiving yourself is liberating. It's letting go of the weight of the past and giving yourself permission to move forward. Self-love isn't just a feeling. It's a daily practice. It's choosing each day to treat yourself with the same tenderness and understanding you offer to those you love. Because you deserve it. Ask yourself, what can I do today to care for myself? It could be something small, but its impact can be profound. After all, a balanced life begins the moment you make yourself a priority. Take care of yourself. Love yourself. Because no one else in the world has more power to transform your life than you. Once you've cultivated self-love and self-care, adversities take on a new light. When we are more connected with ourselves, we begin to see that even life's hardships bring valuable lessons. It just takes a shift in perspective. Lessons from adversities. What if, instead of fearing difficulties, you could see them as opportunities in disguise? It might feel challenging when the storm hits, but adversities are like blacksmiths. They shape our strength and character, even if the process feels uncomfortable. The Stoics believed that it's not what happens to us that defines our lives, but how we choose to respond. This shift in perspective transforms problems into growth exercises. When something feels insurmountable, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Every obstacle carries hidden lessons about patience, resilience, or even about what truly matters to you. The pain of loss can teach the value of love. The failure of a project might reveal better paths. Moments of doubt can awaken strengths you didn't know you had. Adversities aren't punishments, they're invitations to learn. By facing them with courage and curiosity, you begin building the resilience needed to overcome future challenges. Think of them as stepping stones. Each one takes you higher, even if the climb feels exhausting. Remember, you've overcome challenges before. Each one brought you here, stronger and wiser. Ask yourself now, what is this adversity trying to teach me? The answer might not come immediately, but it's there, waiting for you. Because, in the end, life's greatest lessons always come from its most challenging moments. After understanding the lessons in adversity, it's time to go further. Life isn't just about surviving challenges, it's about growing through them. Every failure, no matter how difficult it seems, can become the foundation for something stronger. Now, let's dive into the transformative power of resilience and the hidden value in failure. Resilience and the value of failure. Failure is inevitable, but contrary to what we often think, it's not the end, it's the beginning of something new. For the Stoics, failure was a natural part of life, an opportunity for learning and refinement. This perspective changes everything. Consider the concept of anti-fragility. Not merely resisting difficulties, but using them to grow stronger. Just like muscles grow after the strain of lifting weights, we too grow through our challenges. Every mistake is a chance to reflect, recalibrate, and move forward with greater clarity. Stoic logic teaches us to observe failure without the weight of judgment. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What can I do differently next time? This reflection isn't for self-criticism, but to transform the experience into wisdom. Reframing expectations is also key. Often, we cling to rigid ideas of how things should be and miss the opportunities that arise along the way. By letting go of these expectations, we make space for new possibilities. Failing doesn't mean you failed as a person. It means you're trying, daring, and learning. Every stumble proves you're in motion, while many remain still out of fear of making mistakes. So, the next time something doesn't go as planned, remember, failure doesn't define who you are, but how you respond to it can transform your journey. Ask yourself now, what can this moment of failure build in me? Perhaps more courage, patience, or strength, because in the end, the value of failure lies in how it prepares you for the next steps. Once you learn to grow from mistakes and turn failures into strength, an essential question emerges. What about the things beyond our control? Not everything can be fixed, adjusted, or changed, and it's precisely here that true serenity is found. Accepting what cannot be controlled, some battles simply cannot be won, and that's okay. One of Stoicism's greatest truths is that by recognizing the limits of our control, we find peace. It's like letting go of a rope you can't pull, finally resting your tired hands. The dichotomy of control teaches us to divide life into two categories: what we can control and what we cannot. You can control your actions, decisions, and how you choose to react. But you can't control others' opinions, external circumstances, or future outcomes. Resisting what's beyond your reach only brings frustration and exhaustion. But by accepting that some things simply are as they are, you free your energy for what truly matters, acting with clarity where change is possible. Acceptance isn't resignation or giving up. It's recognizing reality as it is, without adding unnecessary suffering. Think of it this way: the wind won't stop because you want it to, but you can adjust your sails and keep moving forward. Every time you choose to accept the uncontrollable, you take a step toward emotional freedom. You're no longer a prisoner of circumstances or anxiety about what you can't change. By focusing on what is within your power, you reclaim control over your life. Ask yourself now, what am I trying to control that doesn't depend on me? Let it go. In doing so, allow serenity to fill the space once occupied by resistance. Because acceptance is not just an act of courage, it's an act of wisdom. After accepting what cannot be controlled, it's natural to seek a new direction. One that goes beyond yourself and connects your life to a greater purpose. The meaning we often seek is found in what we offer to the world around us. The meaning of contributing to something greater. There's a truth we cannot ignore. We are stronger together. Life takes on new meaning when we choose to be part of something that transcends our own needs. No matter the size of the gesture, every contribution has an impact, and that impact creates purpose. The Stoics believe that we are part of a universal community, and that our purpose is linked to collective well-being. When we help others, through kind words, generous actions, or even by leading through example, we fill not only the emptiness in others, but also in ourselves. Contributing doesn't mean solving all the world's problems. It means acting where you can. It could be listening to someone during a tough time, volunteering for a cause, or simply living in a way that inspires those around you. Every small act creates ripples that extend far beyond what we imagine. And here's the incredible part. When you contribute, you find a purpose that goes beyond the self. You discover that life isn't measured solely by what you achieve, but by the impact you leave on others. In that impact, emotional voids are filled, because the meaning of life lies in sharing the best of ourselves. Ask yourself, how can I contribute today? It might be something simple, but it will be significant, because in the end, every act of contribution is a reminder that we are all connected. And in that connection, we find the purpose we've been searching for. After reflecting on the impact of contributing to something greater, we cannot ignore the importance of the bonds we create along the way. It is through deep relationships that we are challenged, strengthened, and taught the true meaning of human connection. Let's explore the value of authentic relationships and how they can transform our lives. The value of deep relationships. The Stoics viewed relationships as fertile ground for cultivating the most important virtues. It is within human connections that we learn patience, practice empathy, and exercise justice. But these connections are not just opportunities for growth, they are among life's greatest gifts. Deep relationships are not about quantity but quality. These are the bonds where vulnerability is embraced, where true exchange occurs, and where mutual respect upholds every interaction. It is here that we grow, not just as individuals, but together as partners on this shared journey called life. However, deep relationships do not equate to emotional dependence. The Stoics warned of the dangers of excessive attachment, of placing one's happiness entirely in the hands of another. To love stoically is to find balance, to appreciate others for who they are while maintaining autonomy over oneself. Think of your relationships as mirrors. They reflect not only who others are, but also who you are. Every conversation, every disagreement, every shared moment of joy is an opportunity to better understand yourself, to practice understanding, and to grow. Ask yourself, how can I nurture my relationships more authentically? Perhaps it's by listening more attentively, expressing gratitude, or simply being present. In the end, the bonds we build give life its meaning. They remind us that no matter how independent we are, true strength lies in walking side by side with those we choose to keep close. After exploring the value of deep relationships, there is something equally essential that strengthens our connections and purpose, the space to be silent with ourselves. It is in silence that we find clarity, renew our strength, and learn to listen to the most important voice, our own. The power of silence and introspection. We live in a noisy world, not just in sound, but in the constant influx of information, opinions, and demands vying for our attention. In this perpetual noise, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. The Stoics understood this and found in silence a powerful tool to fortify the mind and spirit. Epictetus believed silence to be an opportunity to observe your thoughts before acting. It is in silence that you reflect on your choices and evaluate whether you are living in accordance with your virtues. Silence is not merely the absence of words, it is the presence of attention, focus, and discernment. Marcus Aurelius also valued introspection, setting aside moments to withdraw from external chaos and look inward. He believed this practice brought not only serenity, but also clarity for facing daily challenges. Introspection need not be complex. It can begin with a quiet moment in the morning before the world awakens, or a brief pause to take a deep breath during the day. In these small retreats, you find the opportunity to ask yourself, what am I doing? Am I aligned with my values? In silence, there is strength. It teaches self-discipline, as only those who master their inner noise can act with clarity and purpose. More than that, silence is a refuge, a place where you can rest your mind, renew your energy, and regain balance. Try it now. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and remain silent for a few seconds. It is in this rare space that answers begin to emerge, because the power of silence is not in escaping the world, but in strengthening your ability to face it with serenity and wisdom. After a journey through so many lessons, from courage in adversity to the value of silence and introspection, we reach the most important point. What will you do with all of this? The true impact of these ideas lies not in hearing them, but in living them every day. Life is made of choices. Every moment you decide how to react, how to act, and what to cultivate within yourself. Today you've had the chance to reflect on principles that could transform how you live, but only you can take the next step. Think about everything we've discussed. The importance of valuing small moments, the strength found in failure, the power of silence, and authentic connections. Ask yourself, which of these ideas can I begin applying today? Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. The journey to a more conscious and balanced life doesn't demand perfection. It begins with small steps, a pause to breathe, a wiser choice, a word of gratitude, or a moment of reflection. These simple gestures, when combined, create profound change. Now, I invite you to share your reflections. Which lesson impacted you the most? What are you taking away from this conversation? Leave your comment, because your voice can inspire others to take their first steps on their own journeys. Remember, change begins within you, but it doesn't end there. It echoes in the world, in your relationships, and in the choices you make each day. So, what will you choose? The decision is in your hands. Let's build a life of greater purpose, balance, and connection together.